how do we manage small hive beetles? I hate those things. I've had so many problems with that. I have frozen, I don't know how many frames, that were damaged by small hive beetles, and it's just nasty, nasty stuff. So I try to control them as much as I can. It doesn't always work, but there are some things that help. One thing is, these are fairly new. It's an entrance thing that you put there in front of the hive entrance so that nowhere coming into the front entrance can your bees go or other pests other than that little place right there. And the small hive beetles, the way this thing is designed, they have a hard time getting in there. So that helps. It's not a cure, but I do think it helps some. That's not to say that I haven't had a hive slime that had this on it, but that helps somewhat. It's called the Guardian Beehive entrance. They're not cheap, and I don't have them on every hive. It was kind of an experiment. As far as when your small hive beetles get into the hive, I try to use traps. And there's different ones on the market. I like to use the ones that you put between the frames. And one of them that's pretty popular is this one called, it's a Beetle Blaster. And it's meant to be a one-time thing. It's lightweight plastic, and you put that between the frames. Small hive beetles can crawl in the little slots there, but the bees can't get down in there. And so inside here, you put some type of material that's going to trap the small hive beetles. Originally, I think we were told to use mineral oil or cooking oil, something like that. Audrey Sheridan at Mississippi State came out a few years ago and said that something that's a little bit better is propylene glycol. This is a food safe material. It's used for antifreeze in RVs for people up north where the RVs freeze in the wintertime. So I've used that. That works pretty good. But when you're cleaning these things out and try to reuse them, if you tip that over and drip any kind of oil down into your hive on your cluster, that is not good. For the last couple of years, I have gone to this particular trap here. It's called Beetle Jail. Not every bee supply company has that, but some do. I like it because it's got slots in the top that the beetles can crawl through and the bees can't. But you can open it up, fill it up with what you want to. When they get full of dead beetles and stuff, then you can dump it out really easy and reuse it. And there's even a little slot where you can put some bait or something in the middle. Some people put apple cider vinegar or something like that in there to help attract the beetles to this area. But I don't even do that anymore. I just put them in there, let the bees chase the beetles in there. I'm pretty much gotten to the point where I don't use the oil anymore. I'm using mostly diatomaceous earth. So you can buy a whole bag of it. It's pretty cheap. And I put that into a squeeze honey jar. So I can pop the lid open and just squirt that diatomaceous earth down into the traps. So that works real good. And they're easier to clean out maybe than the ones with the oil in there. And I'll put 2 of these traps sometimes in every single box, at least 1 in every box in the whole hive. So I've got a lot of these, and I'll go out there and clean them up. You'll find that the bees will propylize these up, these little cracks right here. So you Got to go in there with your hive tool and open them up every time you open up a box. So that's what I do for small hive beetles, and that's not to say that I haven't had a hive slimed this year, because I have. But I do try to started to use more of these, some people call them Swiffer dryer sheets or something like that. So I've got a whole bundle of these ones that I've cut up into smaller sections, maybe about this big, and I'll put one of those in there every time. I got, these are Dixie H700 disposable food service towels. I've got a lifetime supply in this one box, I think. So I'll put those in there. It's kind of odd because you'll see the bees will kind of rough them up with their feet and everything, and that's what gets the small hive beetles' legs caught in there and they die. Sometimes I'll find those little sheets dragged down to the bottom board. It's kind of odd what the bees do with them sometimes. Sometimes they'll propolize them in place, and other times they'll drag them off. So kind of odd what the bees do, but it's all hive beetles, you know, stuck in that sheet there, and you can just throw it away. So that's what I do for small hive beetles.